Hello to those listening. This is the Freest of Speech. Now, this time I want to talk about, can abortion be outlawed in the United States? I mean, as of like right now. And I say yes, it can. But to give you why and my perception on this, first I want to go to the uslegal.com to get a definition of a law that is on the book that is known as femicide. And it reads there: femicide is the act or the instance of killing a fetus by assaulting and battering the mother. Femicide is an intentional induced miscarriage. As a medical term, femicide is the destruction of a fetus. For example, a legal induced abortion during the first phase of pregnancy amounts to femicide. However, femicide will not include a miscarriage of pregnancy. Now, working off of this definition, it very plainly clearly states that ending intentionally ending a pregnancy would be illegal. It has nothing to do with natural causes or an accident that happens. It's intentional. One must willingly cause the miscarriage to destroy the fetus. Now, I'm going to switch over to this story that you see that's seen in the Daily Mail, and it talks about an Indiana woman freed from jail after being sentenced to 20 years for self-induced abortion using drugs she brought off the internet. Now, you may be saying, isn't the article you're talking about right now kind of counterproductive of what you're saying, since the fact that the sentence was overturned? Well, no, it really doesn't. Because we're talking about Indiana law. I'm going to switch over to let me scroll up real quick so you can see right here. I'm going over to the U.S. Conference of State Legislations and yada yada yada. It talks about the femicide laws being about 38 states. I just went to the top so you can see what I'm talking about. And I'm scrolling down to the Indiana laws. Now, there's a bunch of pieces here, but what I really want to go down to here is the 2009 part. I'm going to read this part. And it says that this new add-on to the law allows the state to seek an additional fixed term of imprisonment if a person, while committing or attempting to commit murder, causes the termination of a pregnancy, prosecution of the murder or attempted murder, and the enhancement of the penalty for that crime does not require proof that the person committed or attempted to commit the murder had knowledge or should have had knowledge that the victim was pregnant, or that the defendant intended to cause the termination of a pregnancy. In addition, consult terms of imprisonment may be between 6 and 20 years. Now, I read this for the simple reason of demonstrating that under the law, if a criminal commits a crime that caused the miscarriage, it plainly states that that defendant doesn't need to have foreknowledge of the pregnancy or even intend to cause the pregnancy. You will just be penalized for the results of your actions. Now, because laws like these exist in 38 different states in the United States, at any time, all it would take is for a person who really want to get rid of abortion to go to all these 38 states, pull the files of individuals who had these additional tack-ons from the femicide laws, and then argue them in front of a court, aka arguing for their release if that's the reason why their sentence was enhanced, or arguing for their release if that's the reason that they were convicted, or just arguing for the reason in general that it would be unconstitutional. And you may be be saying, why would it be unconstitutional? Well, because abortion exists. The fundamental reason why abortion is allowed is the fact that the woman chooses what she wants to do with her body. This goes in direct contrast of the laws on femicide. Not femicide, feticide. If I've been saying femicide this whole time, I apologize. But feticide. Because if the law will punish you, whether you do or do not have knowledge of the pregnancy you caused a miscarriage of your actions, well, it stands to reason that you can't have abortion in the same instance. Because abortion is the intentional destruction of the fetus. And you may say, well, maybe that may work in an individual state or two, but the thing is, it functions in the same principle as how gay marriage is now legal throughout the entire United States. If you take this to the Supreme Court and you argue it from the perception of these people are being unjustly incarcerated because of these femicide acts, while abortion is still illegal, you're forcing the Supreme Court to sit there and say one or two things. Either all these femicide laws need to be stricken, therefore releasing some people or reducing some of the individual sentences, or you have to say abortion has to be illegal because, well, we punish people for causing even unintentional miscarriages. So, like I said at the beginning, just with these laws on the books, the answer is yes, we can do it. I know some people may say, well, Roe versus Wade has a lot of legal precedent. Well, femicide has more legal precedent around the world. If you look at any ancient culture, or look at any ancient religion, or old religions, whichever you want to look at, you will see that they all have the caveat in them that if you were to cause harm or death to a pregnant woman, or you were to cause a miscarriage, you died. Makes no difference if it's your intention or not, you died. And this is something that you see around the world. It is something that people in general are all for. Because if you walked up to some person and said, hey, should people just kill the next generation? Just kill fetuses just for, because they just feel like it? There is no person, even pro-abortion people, especially if you phrase it this way, would say, no, they shouldn't. So, Roe versus Wade would fall if any group of people who are anti-abortion want to take the time to go to these 38 different states, pull from these cases, and take it to a courtroom. Yes, you will be defending bad people, but the results are either you free the bad people, which I don't see any judges saying, yeah, let's let criminals go, or you end abortion. But until somebody decides to do that, I guess the U.S. will keep going with its ebbs and flows of shenanigans so people can keep making money. And this was the freest of speech. Thanks for listening.